I used to listen to good podcasts, but everything was fine. But now I listen to this podcast because I've lost my mind. My gym partner's a podcast. My gym partner's a podcast. Yeah!
Bullshark, porcupine, I don't know what. Doing this podcast is a pain in the...
Ow! Ow! Oh, my beak. What the? Oh,
Hey!
wait.
Hey.
Oh, come on. I'm here again?
Welcome.
Is this... It's the same place? Oh.
I'm glad that our trap door worked.
Yeah.
You're here in our basement where we
Why am I-
record.
I'm glad
You
that...
have my name tag and everything. What the hell's going on here?
Welcome. Welcome to the Dark Podcast.
We cleaned up the place a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I look pretty good. I don't like the trap door.
Do you want a beverage?
Yeah, I mean, if you're offering.
Like, I'm gonna go rummage around in the fridge.
Okay.
Okay, so we got soda. All we got is RC Cola. Is that okay? You like RC?
Yeah, I like it just fine. When'd you guys add the vending machine?
Well, it's just
you
kind
know,
of...
after the war.
Yeah.
The war?
Welcome everybody.
I didn't... You can't just add a war, Lucy. You can't just... I didn't expect it. I can't organically bounce off of that.
But,
I have to think.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I'm back again.
Yeah, woo! It's my gym partner's a monkey.
Nile 2,
podcast.
minus Rene. God, I feel lost.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I was wondering who pushed me down the trap chute. I felt some claws dig into my back and then some scurrying away.
Yes, you see, Rene decided that she wanted to take a little bit of a vacation. So we decided to kidnap Nile here, and for those who don't remember, Nile was on one of our episodes way back
Wait,
in the day.
I think I hear her driving. I think I hear her like car starting. She's driving up.
Wait, Rene, come back! Rene! Oh.
Looks like you're hosting.
Oh no.
Sorry we didn't tell you.
No, yeah, I mean it's a good convenience that I've watched both the episodes that you're reviewing today.
I'm really glad. So, what do we do on this podcast? We watch episodes of My Gym Partner's a Monkey. We talk about them. We cry about them. We laugh about them. I know so many laughs were had.
Yeah.
You know, Gert, I want to ask you something specifically.
Yes.
So, after watching the movie last week, did these episodes feel incredibly short to you?
Huh. You know,
Because
they did feel a lot shorter. It was kind of like a long car ride. Like you have like a long car ride, and then like, you know, like an 8-hour one, like cross state. And it's just like, oh, this is such a long car ride, and then you do like an hour and a half or like a 2-hour ride, and you're like, that was nothing. I could do like 2 more of those. That's kind of
Right.
how it felt, except with with Gym Monkey.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot shorter, and so, I mean, I don't know about you two, but I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, let's dig into the flesh of these.
So yeah, let's what's the first one?
Diplomatic insanity. This one starts out odd. We see this like red carpet event, and there's like an announcer being like, "Oh, the avian comedian Kiki Von Beaky is like making a smash."
Beak. And
And I wanted to make note that Phil Lamar, I believe, is the person who did the little intro introducing Kiki Von Beaky, but it sounded like he was doing his Static Shock voice, and it like that's all I had in my mind was like Static Shock in a tuxedo when he was saying it. And,
Static Shock has entered the My Gym Partner's a Monkey universe.
Yeah.
Do you
And,
think
so
all
yeah,
the
Kiki...
Do you think all the animals are bang babies?
What?
What the hell's a baby?
That was what they called the mutants in Static Shock. Like the people who got powers, they called them
Is it?
bang babies. Yeah.
That's what
Bang
they called. I
babies?
watched that show and I don't remember.
Because
I
they-
don't remember that.
Well, it was because they all inhaled like toxic gas that blew up, and
Bang, baby.
that's a bang baby.
What a bang baby.
I remember it being a very ridiculous name.
So Kiki Von Vicky is a toucan, and she does her classic bit, which is twirling up in the air and smashing down on the carpet, and everyone gets a big laugh at it. And we kind of pan out, and it's Lupe, I guess, getting ready for school in the morning, and she's watching the TV at the zoo, and she's like, I fucking hate this Kiki Von Vicky bitch. How dare she soil the name of toucans? She's an embarrassment. I wish she would die.
She's making my species look like idiots.
And then what's weird is that, like, there's an immediate transition after that, but there's no, like, joke to carry us into the next bit. It's just kind of like she says, like, I don't like Kiki Von Vicky.
She says it again.
And then we're in the next episode.
She's just like, oh well, nobody knows who she is. But one thing that I, like, noticed, I guess, like, you know, it's always been there, but a thing that I really got to, like, look at, since, you know, we never really got to see just Lupe for, like, this long of, like, a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that she has teeth. It makes me so upset that she has teeth.
Does.
Like, I kept looking at them and being like, and just imagining a bird with, like, teeth like that. Like, those are human teeth in there. It's disgusting. Anyway.
So she's at school and she's flying around the hallways, and everybody in the school is making the Kiki joke. They're like, you know, twirling around and going, ow, my beak, which is like her classic line. It's kind of like how Adam's classic line is "Zuh," or how Adam's classic line is "God, I wish I wasn't at this school anymore," or Adam's other classic line, "Please, somebody help me, take me away from this eternal punishment."
Or Adam's classic line, "I think I'm dead, I think I'm in purgatory, I don't think I'm going anywhere, I think I'm just going to be here forever."
Yeah, that. And Lupe's like yells at them. She's like, if I see one more person." This is, okay, fair warning, this is the funniest joke in this entire show. So she goes, if anybody else makes a Kiki joke, they better watch it. And then you look over and it's Jake and Adam, and they're being like hee hee, and Jake does the Kiki joke, and Lupe like straightens out and launches at them like a torpedo, and then it's a cut to a like black and white live action footage of like a 50s-esque family like sitting in their living room, and then like a nuclear bomb.
Like it's them like ducking in cover, and then the bomb goes
footage off. And it's sort of complicated what this footage brings to the lore of the show. Is this happening in like nearby? Was there actually an atomic bomb that happened?
I think that ties into the lore of the reason all of these animals are speaking is because the bombs went off, and
the bombs.
Yeah, the bombs went off. They were able to clean the radiation, but the life was tainted, and it turned into things like Jake Spider Monkey. And
things, huh?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that theory in a while, so maybe people who just kind of jumped in haven't really heard us talk about that.
Yeah, let's just bring it up again. All of this is the result of nuclear holocaust. It's
it's horrible.
It's horrible, terrible.
Anyway, then we are back. We're back at the school, Principal Pixie Frog's office. Adam looks awful. I think he got the worst of it.
He looks like scarred for the rest of his life bad. Like he has hair missing, like beat up whelps. Like he looks really bad.
And Principal Pixie Frog is like, "Oh, Lupe, you can't just beat up everyone. He's giving you problems. You have to do it non-violently.
You gotta find a solution that doesn't endanger people." And as he's saying this, he's like hiding behind his desk. God, Adam looked rough though.
He does look rough. I wrote it like twice in my notes. It was so upsetting to me.
I'm trying like my best to remember the transition into the next bit, but I think why I'm having such difficulty is it just like it's so like heavy-handed on how we get to like the crux of the episodes, really.
Right, because like the way this starts out is like you're like, oh, is this gonna be a Lupe-centric episode? And then it's really not.
Yeah, she's just kind of like the starting point. She's the fuse that sets off the rest of the episode, because the way that it plays out, if I remember correctly, is they're talking to Lupe in Principal Pixie Frog's office. That's where we're at. Adam is just like, why don't we start a Model UN like my old school? We can solve issues like this. Like, for everybody.
Yeah, because Lupe wants to be an activist for her species in regards to how toucans are perceived by the other students, which is an uncomfortable thing to bring up.
Yeah, so, like, it's not great. Like, as I was watching this, I was thinking, of all the characters to do this with, Lupe is not the one that I would have wanted to be, considering, you know, we've talked about it before, just the Latina stereotype.
Yeah, like she is the most racially coded animal of the main like animal pack.
Yeah, none of this is great, which is why I'm glad they don't spend too much time on it, despite what you would imagine they would.
It's great that it wasn't entirely focused on this, because I feel like I would have been so exhausted I wouldn't be able to go on to the next episode.
So yeah, we've had Lupe-centric episodes like Lupe in Love and stuff like that, but they always are like, I feel like it's very much we have an idea like with this Kiki thing, and then it's like, let's just use it as like a way to get to the real plot we really want to tell that has like nothing to do with like these side characters and always revolves around Jake and Adam. But you know what?
We need the monkey. We need the boy.
We do
gotta
need
get
Jake.
the monkey in there.
The glue.
He's the only one.
The glue that holds show together. Without show fall apart.
Now, I do want to say I do like this dumb little joke, because I like it when Adam and Jake are on the same team.
Yeah, me too.
And like when they're like having this little laugh. Like, Lupe's explaining to Principal Pixie Frog, she's like, I want to, you know, help people understand that, like, all toucans aren't idiots, just like Kiki. And Jake, like, leans over to Adam and goes, he just kind of goes, Kiki. And then they both start laughing.
It's like the most realistic exchange between like two friends ever, because you just say one word and then it like brings you to tears.
It gave me some like thoughts about, you know, that one classic scene from SpongeBob where Patrick and SpongeBob are going to boating school together, and you know, they're like giggling and saying stupid shit to one another as like they're just listening to Miss Puff's like lecture.
Right, it's like a fun little character interaction. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. On the contrast, I wanted to bring up Principal Pixie Frog makes two really bad jokes in this scene. The first one, he said, Lupe brings up the fact that if something goes wrong with her plan, she's gonna bring a lawsuit to the school, and of course Principal Pixie Frog doesn't like that, and he says something like, we gotta figure out something quick or I'll be up to my knees in lawsuits, and not my knees. And then he brings down a screen of like a poodle wearing like
a furry.
Stockings.
It's like an actual furry, I'll say.
An actual furry. And he says, I mean knees that go all the way up to there.
It's a bad joke.
Like, at least it's not like bad, it's just a bad joke, because it
just seems like uninformed. And then later he has a joke where he says, well, once they bring up the Model UN, which is like the main part of the episode, he says, oh, Model UN, that sounds like unlawsuit to
God,
me.
that one was so bad.
Wrong with you, Pixie Frog?
It's like
that not on your game, pal.
That one wasn't even trying to be funny. It's like they're relying on the fact that's like, this wasn't a joke to make me laugh.
Yeah.
It's like a dumb thing he said, and you laugh because it's a dumb thing he said. But after the stinker, like the up to the knees joke, I just was like, PF, not
Alright.
your episode. Really not.
His age is really starting to show.
So we have Model UN. We have Adam in his little fancy suit and his nicely combed hair, and he's in like a classroom with a circle of desks with some other students. We see like Phineas is there, James Ant, that's his name, right?
Yeah, James Ant.
Jake, Ingrid, Slips, the pack, and then a few other people like a fish, a sheep or something.
The reps for the other animals, which, why are they important enough? They don't.
Yeah,
they don't have
they're not there.
personalities.
Windsor is there. Every character or every animal at the Model UN has like a little sign, a little like name tag thing on their desk that shows who they're representing. Windsor's, and it says like their species. Windsor says Kingus Congus. You know what gorillas are called.
Kingus Congus.
So, for some reason, Jake just looks like really not like he doesn't want to be there. He's like annoyed at being there, which is like, I guess that makes sense. Adam, like, there's this dumb bit where Adam like reading out some of the rules, and the animals keep saying "here, here" after everything he says. It's dumb. And
I remember
another bad
one.
joke.
That's one of those that is supposed to latch onto a child's brain, so they say it at school and get other kids to watch it.
Here, here.
Here, here, and then every kid's like, "Oh, where's that from? My gym partner's a monkey." Shit, where you watch that at?
Well, Cartoon Network, you can get it. It's on cable.
Fridays.
Cartoon Fridays. So, Jake is like, "What are we even doing?" I don't know if I wrote this joke down right. I remember not really understanding it. Where he's like, where Adam is explaining like, "Oh, we debate on something and then we like decide what we want to do." And Jake says something like, "What are we going to do to the debate? Give it to the fish?" Oh, I get the joke now.
Yeah, but it's also like really bad.
Yeah.
Like everyone's humor just seems off here.
The fish, and then like this joke like this is just like, "Jake, you're out of line. You're fucking."
You can't do this. No, it's funny because like he like leans over and he starts like banging on his butt like bongos, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice. We haven't had a butt Jake joke in a while."
Yeah, that's nice.
You both have really been brought down to your lowest level, huh? Where you're really just begging for the monkey butt jokes.
It's like, I mean, it's the staple of the show. We see it and we feel familiar. We feel like we feel nostalgia.
So, and then there was another funny joke here though, where Adam's like, if you do like you're out of line, Jake, you gotta get out of like you need to really pull it together and stop like being an ass. And first, also, P.S. in this shot, Adam's arm looks like really short for no reason. I wrote that down because it bothered me so much.
I did not notice how short it was, and I wish I could see it now.
I'm sorry, I'll show it to you later. I mean, I'm gonna put it on the video anyway, so just look at the screen, look at how short his arm is, huh? Anyway.
Oh, fuck. That's such a tiny arm, little man.
Yeah, what a loser.
And then Jake says, "All right, but I have one thing to say," and then he bends over, sticks his butt to Adam's face, and then just very nonchalantly he's like, "Go ahead, put your ear up to it. I want to tell you something."
Yeah, go ahead, listen up.
Okay. Come on. Like, he was gonna fart in Adam's ear. Can you imagine doing that to somebody?
No.
It was really funny though, and then just the way he delivered that line, and then he gets kicked out. So then it's the next day, I assume, and there's a few new faces, and I don't remember really who they were.
It's Ingrid. Ingrid's new.
That's right. Ingrid's there, and she's like, "Hi, Adam." God, Ingrid.
Girl. It's like, Ingrid like Adam, but also sometimes Ingrid don't like Adam. I can't tell. I can't tell when she's supposed to be in love with Adam and when she's not.
When it's convenient.
Cartoon.
So Mr. Mandrill and Principal Pixie Frog, which I feel like when you pointed it out last episode, how like Mr. Mandrill and Principal Pixie Frog just like talking and hanging out was like a really good dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is again, like Mr. Mandrill and Principal Pixie Frog hanging out like at the side of the classroom, like going, "Oh, look at the students!" Like,
yeah,
they're actually like interacting.
Like the faculty has the most natural and like good dialogue in the show, in my opinion, and I think Principal Pixie Frog and Mr. Mandrill are like some of the strongest because it's so like fluid. They just talk about. It's natural, is what I mean to say. Like, I like that.
Yeah, it's good. And Jake walks back in, but this time he's got like socks on his head, and he's like making a bunny face, and his tail is curled up to be like a bunny's.
He looks hideous.
He does.
And he's like hopping around.
Yeah, it's ooh.
Ooh.
And Mr. Mandrill and Principal Pixie Frog are like shocked to see him there. Have we done the episode where they talked about bunnies yet?
They kind of talked about bunnies like in the movie, but that was like just a wild animal thing.
Is this in relation to like what they said about like bunnies not being allowed in the school?
Yeah.
What's that about? Because I'm uninitiated here.
I think that's a future episode, or maybe something that was like an info thing that was dropped in a previous episode that I just like. No, I swear it's like an episode. It's like a big episode, isn't it?
Did we see it? I don't think we've seen that one yet.
No, we haven't seen it yet. So it's weird that they're mentioning it now.
It is. Maybe it's kind of it's foreshadowing.
Yeah, because the Bunny Jake starts going up to like the different people, like Ingrid Slips and I did it again. I wrote in my notes Ingrid Slips and Gorilla.
Kingus Congus.
Gorilla.
Like, and James Ant.
Oh yeah, James Ant. Oh, I love you, James Ant. He's like whispering to them, getting them to like say stuff that like causes a big stink. Everyone starts like arguing. Principal Pixie Frog is like, "This is mildly catastrophic. This is awful." But Adam just is like, "What's going on? Who's causing all this trouble?" And looks at Jake and is like, "We don't allow bunnies in our school," and he gets kicked out again.
Wow.
I don't want to describe the next scene because it annoys me.
What's wrong with it?
I can do it.
Thank you.
I believe the scene you may be talking about is Jake's walking in a parking lot.
Yes.
Oh.
And he comes in contact with something, or perhaps someone, and he looks up, and it's Principal Pixie Frog's car talking to him.
You hate it,
letting him
too,
know that
don't you?
he has a plan to save the day, to wrap this horrible episode up. And Jake doesn't recognize that Principal Pixie Frog is like there hiding in the car. He just thinks that the car is who he's talking to.
There's no reason for this.
And I think this is a good opportunity to bring something up. You all would know that I'm also a pixie frog, but not in this episode. In this episode, I'm actually a talking car.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And I didn't know when to bring it up, but this seemed like the most appropriate time. There's no good way to tell because you're only hearing my voice, but yeah.
You realize that this is a good
I'm a talking
opportunity
car.
for you to be depicted as Lightning McQueen adjacent.
I can't control that. All I can do is prepare the truth. So, now that we get that out of the way, basically, Principal Pixie Frog's plan is to reintroduce what we introduced at the beginning of the episode, being Kiki Von Beaky, to basically...
God,
I don't know exactly what his plan is. It's just to get Lupe mad.
It feels like we moved on from this already. Like, we're still talking about Kiki Von Beaky.
Yeah, because this episode is so messy. It's like two concepts of like celebrity and like this Model UN smushed together trying to make something of it, but I don't think it really adheres at any point. I think it's really like disconnected between these two ideas. Because I thought this episode was going to end with Kiki being introduced, but it doesn't quite. It takes a second.
It's funny because when we were looking for the episode, we were literally like, trying to find it, and we thought that we weren't on the right episode at first, because like we thought it was supposed to be a Lupe episode, or we thought that the Lupe episode was supposed to come later, and we're like, what's going on? Like this is all about Lupe in the beginning, but then it's not. That's just not.
It's just not. I honestly don't have much else to say for the rest of this episode, just because it's like, it just kind of ends.
Jake kidnaps Kiki Von Vicky, brings her to the class to try and get Lupe, I guess, to lose her focus on the UN, because Principal Pixie Frog doesn't want the UN thing to go on anymore, because all the students are bringing up legitimate concerns about, like, the discrimination that each species faces in the school, and he doesn't want to deal with it. So they do this, and Lupe sees Kiki and gets really excited. Like, she's so happy to see Kiki, and like she's signing autographs in the hallway, and Adam's like, why? I thought you hated her. Yeah, he's like, Zuh?
Oh, she's a celebrity, and I'm her biggest fan. She doesn't exactly explain.
Yeah, she says,
why.
Who cares about all that stuff? She's a celebrity. And it's, I guess, some sort of commentary on, like, Lupe was complaining all about, talking all that shit, but then she didn't want to post up when
when push came to shove, it was just like, oh, there's a celebrity here. I don't like that moral. I'm sorry. I don't think that's a great moral.
Well, I don't think it's supposed to be taken as a great moral, to be fair.
There's like a thing, Niall, that you would learn from this show, is that it's very mean-spirited and like pessimistic sometimes.
That's kind of how the episode ends, because like,
right.
What else is there
do your splat for me? And then it does like an iris out on like Adam's face, like looking all confused.
Yeah, and there's just like Kiki says "ow, my beak" a couple more times, like to like an excessive degree, and then like, that's it. There's no funny joke to sort of end the episode on.
Yeah, all
How
except
weird.
for the end bit that was confusing.
Okay, we gotta talk about this. So when we were looking up the episode, we watched them separately this time. Mm-hmm. And the first one, we watched it, and then it played the credits scene that's supposed to play at the end of both of the episodes put together, but we basically watched it twice. But the ending scene, we're not going to give you the context just yet, but it's several seahorse babies in little carriages going across screen for like over a minute.
Keep in mind, everyone, there were no seahorses in this episode at any point. And while this is happening, that like music that plays in SpongeBob when it's like kind of sad, when like if Squidward's just like, guess I'll just go, SpongeBob.
And all these seahorses are just crying.
Yeah, and it's just a never-ending line of these crying seahorses.
It's awful.
and I remember us just being like, so this is it, huh?
Well, we're so confused because, like, first of all, we watched them separately, so I wasn't expecting the ending credits, like, animation. And then finally, let's just get to the second one, though, so we can explain
let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Next time on My Gym Partners, a podcast.
I could tell the masses about the war. I know who tipped the tide.
Hey, my word against yours.
Actually, Lucy, while Gert is gone, there's something I have to tell you. I know about the war. I know what happened.
No! Oh, God.
I know why Rene actually left. And you know what else?
What?
I have a feeling there's a secret society underneath us right now. I'm doing more research on it, but I'll let you know when I have more information.
A secret society? But who could be a part of such a society?
I don't know. I don't have enough information.
Oh shit, the cops are here!
Oh,
Get down, Niles! You'll never take me alive!
No! The truth will be revealed!
And now back to the show.
Our next episode we're talking about is Sidekicked.
This episode is about sidekick dynamics.
It's really about it. Like, it's really about it.
Like,
The thing about this episode is it has very high focus until about like I think 2/3 of the way through. Then it kind of loses me a bit because I actually was I was prepared to say towards the beginning of this episode that this was one of my favorites because I thought it was kind of funny at the beginning, and then it kind of got weird, and then I didn't like it anymore.
Oh, there is something I want to bring up almost immediately in the episode. We of course see like the establishing shot of the school, and there's a sign. If you remember correctly, last time I was here, the sign said, "If you lived here, you would already be at school."
yes.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny, and well, actually, I thought it was not funny because it wasn't a joke, but I thought that in itself was funny. This time, it's surprisingly very similar, and it says, "If you lived here, you'd be lunch by now." That's not better.
That's...
Is that really what I
It's...
didn't even notice the
Yes,
sign.
it says, "If you lived here, you'd be lunch by now," and I couldn't fucking believe it because I was like, you had an opportunity to do the same joke again, and you don't.
Out of all the
and you
episodes...
don't make it a funny one.
Out of all the episodes that we could have gotten you back on, Niall, it's like really funny to me that
I was
we
losing my mind.
that we happened to get you on the one where the sign is like the same joke, basically. Like,
God.
it's kind of spooky.
Sidekick
Is
episode.
that like implying that if like when the lights go out at Charles Darwin, something sinister lurks in the school and you be eaten?
Fucking Charles Darwin turns into Tartarus from Persona 3. That joke isn't for any of you here. It's
I was
for
gonna say,
maybe
I don't
some.
know.
It's for maybe somebody out there.
Oh boy.
So we open
Let's
with
talk about this one.
Adam goes, "Hey Jake, did you catch Yo Mama last night?"
God, yo. When he said that, I had a big chuckle and nobody heard it, or maybe y'all did because I wanted you to. But you catch Yo Mama?
I just couldn't stop thinking of those like YouTube videos where it's like, you know what I'm talking about, the Yo Mama YouTube videos.
What? I don't know if I'm familiar.
Oh, why don't you go check them out? They're so funny.
All right, I'm gonna go watch some Yo Mama videos right now.
Yeah, all right. See you, Gert.
All right, let's see here. Yo Mama.
I think this episode's going pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Mama. Okay, Yo Mama So Evil Chucky. That sounds good. Okay. All right.
Boy.
Hey, I found something.
What do you mean?
Did you find something?
So first of all, Yo Mama. So evil. Chucky.
Okay.
Like Chucky the doll.
Yeah.
This character that I'm seeing right now is fucking awful.
You mean the guy in the pink shirt?
Yeah.
Are you watching the video too?
Yes.
No, I just know what Yo Mama looks like.
So,
Oh.
That's
Wait,
like
what? Yo Mama's a person?
yeah. I guess so.
What the fuck do you mean?
Oh jeez. Anyway, my gym partner's a monkey.
Jake goes, "I'm not really into Yo Mama anymore since, you know, Truffle's sidekick, Jippy, left the
Jippy.
show."
Chippy.
What's a jippy? Who's a jippy?
Well,
What
you
is
know
that
who
name?
you know who Truffle's default is, right?
Yeah. You,
Remind me?
It's Jake's like celebrity crush.
Oh, okay.
He
Got it.
loves Truffles.
he loved Truffles.
Jippy is a new character completely. Then everyone starts to kind of the pack get together, and they all start to like say like, yeah, you know, it's really not an enjoyable show without the sidekick. Like, you need someone to take the edge off. You know, you can't just have like.
I can't stand Truffles Duval without her sidekick. She is just
Jippy.
too much alone.
Yeah.
That's what Lupe says.
Yeah. So like, it's, I guess what they're very, very obviously trying to like, you know, point out the dynamic that Jake and Adam have. And before we get any farther, who do you think is the sidekick, Jake or Adam? I'm gonna say full-heartedly, Jake is the sidekick. You can't change my mind.
Jake is the sidekick. There's no questioning it. Like,
Who's the one who sings the theme song? Adam.
yeah, Adam. and like Jake is there for comic relief. Most of the time the show focuses on Adam Lion. Like,
okay, so we're pretty unanimous here on that.
I think so.
All right.
Post in the comments who's the sidekick, Lucy or me.
That was my question. This is a good opportunity with Rene being out of the mix to have a pair here to talk about which one of you two is the sidekick and which one isn't.
Well, I know for sure Gert is the sidekick.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, why on earth?
Because Gert's the goofy one.
I'm impartial, of course.
The sidekick has to be the goofy one.
Well,
I don't think I'm very goofy.
You're a little goofy. You're kind of a goofball.
Yeah, no, remember, hey, this is, as Rene would say, God bless her, rest in peace.
God, I miss her already.
We're pulling back the veil a bit. One time, asked a friend who your favorite host on the podcast was, and they said, "Oh, it's Gert." Gert's the best.
Who said that?
I'm completely impartial.
Hey, now, who's your favorite host?
I said I'm completely impartial. Listen, I'm just a car.
I can't believe that. Niall, you must have a favorite. You must have a favorite friend.
And then I turn away and I look at a picture that the audience can't see. No, I don't. And then I put it away.
Why would I?
So, I guess the sidekick pairs are Slips and Windsor, Slips being the sidekick, and of course Ingrid and Lupe, Ingrid being the sidekick. And we get to see some other sidekick dynamics. And hey, we get to see Bull and his, like, 2 lackeys, which I feel like we haven't seen in 10 years.
We haven't. They were around, like, once, and then they were gone.
Yeah, one's like a wombat or something? I don't know.
It's a wom and a bat? You know what I mean? Like, one's a bat and...
Is that the joke? Because I noticed one of them was a bat.
I don't know what the other one is. I don't know really what a wombat looks like. It's a rodent of some, like a large rodent of some kind.
If only Rene was here, we could have animal facts to know what a wombat is.
Let's do animal facts with Gert. Cue in the music.
We don't have any music for that. Now
we don't have any music.
Make it.
For the Gert song?
Yes, for the Gert song.
Come on.
Beam bum boodoo beam dum ba-dum ba-dum ba-dum. Animal facts with Gert.
Okay, so wombats. Yeah, I think. I think this is one. I think that's a wombat.
All right, Gert, go ahead and put up what you think.
Hey, wombats look like this.
God.
I'm putting this picture up.
Please do. Oh my god. They look so funny.
Hey, Bull, see?
Well, I guess it was a wombat.
They
Anyway.
can look like that, but also they can look like this. Let's not give people an impression of wombats. Like, it can also look...
Oh,
that's really
cute.
That's
that brings us back.
So cute.
Bring it back, bring it back. But also, don't forget that they can look like the picture above.
Coming from an audience perspective, I never want animal facts with Gert ever.
Like you're just like scrambling. You're like sidekick.
Yeah, just like hold on. You looked. I just made my computer like do something. I don't know. Anyway,
we really don't want to talk about this episode, do we?
We do. This is just how episodes go now.
Okay.
This is the formula, Niall.
So, where were we? There's animal.
We were talking of
sidekick dynamics.
We were seeing all the different sidekicks. Like they were showing, like there's a hierarchy. There's lackeys and there's like leaders and
and we see like a dolphin girl carrying Dickie, but he's wearing like a cute little dress, and she's like, oh, who's my pretty little, I think she says little girl.
Yeah, who's my pretty little girl.
And I was curious if we wanted to talk about that because it's very weird
I
thing.
don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think that's best.
So then, we see there's kind of some argument between Jake and Adam about who's the sidekick. Like, Ingrid's like, oh, I think Adam is. And then Slips is like, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
Jake's got something.
Yikes, haha. And then we're in Miss Chameleon's class,
Yeah.
and they're doing mirror acting.
Perfect synchronization.
And they're supposed to be, like, pretending to be each other, like, the mirror of somebody else.
Right.
And, but Jake and Adam are like, no, you follow me. No, you follow me. And then they start, like, wrestling with each other, and they're, like, tumbling out of the class, and they, like, I guess they're in, like, one of the courtyards of the school, where Principal Pixie Frog is just, like, relaxing on a lily pad in, like, a pond.
He's got a big
Nice.
hat, big sun hat.
Yeah.
That music's playing here, and it's the key that leads us to the final conclusion of that last bit.
He's like, what's going on with you two? What's all this hullabaloo? And they're like, oh, but we're arguing about, being whose sidekick is who, and Jake's my sidekick, and he won't blah blah blah. And Principal Pixie Frog's like, boys, let's stop this epic friendship power struggle.
You're messing with the natural order, and then he cuts to all these different sidekick dynamics we just saw, and they're all lopsided at this point. They're flipped. So Bull's like carrying the books for his little lackeys, and what are the other ones?
The Dickie, like, he has this tiny little parasol that he was using, and he
He
shoves
says,
it into
"Who's your mommy now?"
Yeah.
I did not like that line.
I forgot to mention that as they're tumbling with each other out of the class, they pass by Windsor, Slip, and Lupe and Ingrid. And, like, Windsor is getting I think they're, like, just getting their feet massaged or, like, nails clipped or something by their sidekicks. And, this stupid bit, we completely forgot about it. Ingrid keeps trying to talk street.
What is with that one?
It's not, like, introduced. There's no real reason.
Not funny.
She just starts...
Not really.
It's just not it. It's just not it.
Like,
she's like, word, this ain't what it is, yo. And Lupe keeps going, Ingrid.
But that's not.
No.
That's not great. That's not funny.
Don't do that.
You
Don't
need to
do that.
stop it.
I think that's the only funny part of it is just how realistically everyone reacts to Ingrid doing this.
Yeah, they're all just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not really cool. Like, don't do
Yeah.
that.
And she's like, oh, okay.
It's just a bad scene, and I just wanna move on from it. It was really bad.
Yeah, Slips and Ingrid though start to kind of turn on their leaders, and finally, so with Principal Pixie Frog and Adam and Jake, the order is even further,
Yep.
disturbed as Miss Warthog comes over. And at this point, Adam has conceded. He's like, oh, you know what? Fine. If it's going to, like, make things better, I'll be the sidekick. That's fine. And Miss Warthog rolls up, though, in Principal Pixie Frog's, like, scooter. And she's like, I'm the leader now. And she lassos him. She, like, pulls out a little rope and, like, twirls it in the air and grabs him. And then she's like, now pull. And he's like,
I'm not built for this.
I never made you do this. And she's like, do you want to do paperwork instead?
Pulling's fine.
Making, like, she starts, like, making really labored noises, and then he's just like,
her hair is like spiked up like how like an angry boar would be in life.
So this is where the episode loses me.
Yeah,
because I like it when I like a good old role reversal, and this is like a true role reversal, and it was kind of fun. But then it gets weird because all of a sudden, Jake's like, Adam, you gotta start doing some, like, wacky sidekick stuff. And Adam's like, okay. What's
Don't ever do that again, Adam.
See, Adam just doesn't know how to introduce his new catchphrase, but he'll get it next time.
Yeah, don't worry. The next episode, by the time next episode...
he does it again next time. It's really good.
Yeah.
So this next scene opens up, and it's like a leader's lounge area, and they have the sidekicks making them, like, find food and pouring them water, and they're basically just using their sidekicks for this labor. And Windsor and Adam, they've had it. They're not about it. So in their minds, they think, well, I mean, we didn't make them do this kind of stuff when they were our sidekicks. They just goofed around. What if we did that? And then all hell breaks loose. They're doing wacky stuff like, well, I have to say it. Principal Pixie Frog is running around in his underwear, half naked. What do we? Was this? Why does he do that?
He's got a tattoo.
He has an anchor tattoo, which I'm not sure of the significance of that, but maybe it could have something to do.
He was in the Navy with Mr. Krabs. That's how they know each other.
Oh my God, the lore is real.
Principal Pixie Frog out here naked, practically throwing water balloons at Adam Lion. They're acting like children. It's ridiculous.
Principal Pixie Frog is the only one in his underwear. I have to bring that up again. I just don't understand why he's the only one.
Well, it's so we can see his chest.
His
hairy
chest.
His hairy chest. All the hair.
His hairy chest.
You know, his frog hair. That frogs grow.
Jake wants to participate in the fun water balloon fight, but leaders don't dabble in such nonsense. They don't do that. And of course, because of their tomfoolery, the sidekicks all get put in detention, and Jake's like, well, there you go. That's what they get for being like that. But it just basically, the detention room turns into a big party room. They like do congas, and all those leaders are kind of looking into the window of like the door.
Yeah, because they're
wistfully.
all bored.
Yeah. They're like, I wish we could have fun again. I wish I could do my funny monkey butt bits, but I haven't waxed my butt in
That was
weeks.
the worst painting that we've gotten in a while, I feel. Like, detailed, lovingly
I think
crafted.
The next one's worse.
Yeah, because Slip says that he hasn't been used as a back scratcher in a while, and the skin, his snake dead skin has been building up.
That was something.
And they show a picture of that.
That was something I feel like we forgot to mention, that earlier in the episode, we did see like the sidekicks being used as like you know, appliances.
Yeah, like tools.
I never felt like Windsor did that to Slips though before this
Yeah,
episode.
it seems like a new thing just for the episode, like something that just
That's possible.
something to just tie everything together to be like, oh yeah, they're treated bad.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, maybe we are upsetting the natural order. We really do need like a leader of some sort. And they all rest their eyes upon Jake, who's doing like a thinker pose. He's like, I guess I have some natural, leadership instincts in you. But he's like, but I'm a sidekick, really. And
yeah,
Miss Warthog's
oh,
like,
he's
it's
also
not all
naked,
black.
by the way.
Oh yeah, he's naked for
It's
a bit.
not black and white.
Yeah, Miss Warthog goes, it's not black and white. I mean, male seahorses give birth after all.
Say what?
Male seahorses give birth after all.
Wait a second.
Oh, I think I get it. Male seahorses give birth after all.
I had another That's So Raven moment. You guys remember the after credits scene from the first one?
Yeah. Yeah. What? Whoa! Yeah,
That's the context of it.
This is that's why.
It's still not funny. Don't worry, folks. Still isn't good.
Still isn't a good one. So they cut to like a male seahorse student, by the way, who goes, "What?" It's like, how did you not fucking know?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I guess they're middle
idiot.
school kids, right?
I guess.
I mean, yeah, but you would know who gave birth to you, right?
Yeah, you would. You would definitely.
Also,
like,
I'm just
when your father gave birth.
I'm going to
you.
give a little fact here.
Oh, now I'll do the music again.
Animal facts with God.
So, yeah, that whole thing about male seahorses giving birth, everyone treats it like, oh my god, the male seahorses give birth. No, they don't. The female seahorse lays the eggs in the male seahorse's pouch, and then they hatch from the pouch. They're not giving birth. They're just holding the eggs. It's ridiculous.
Boom, doodle-doodle-doom.
So Jake decides he's going to, go out there and confront them. So they confront the detention gang. Is like, you have to do everything we say. So get your old jobs back. And as they come in, by the way, Adam is putting gelatin into Principal Pixie Frog's underwear.
Yep.
Yeah, he's stuffing his underwear full of gelatin. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong here. What is this concept?
I feel like... Is it strange that I had, like... I felt like I've seen this before, but in real life at, like, my school?
Yes.
Is it strange
Yes.
that I feel...
Yes, that's incredibly strange.
Especially since, like, Principal Pixie Frog, after he's like, oh, okay, I guess we're back to the old jobs, he gets up and he starts hopping away in his...
his loaded
like
drawers.
Yeah, it looks like a big diaper that's, like, full of shit.
No.
It looks like my body.
Don't say that about yourself, Gert.
Well, I'm a slug.
Gert, your form is much more well-oriented than that.
I'm not as lumpy as Principal Pixie Frog's
so
loaded drawers.
No, everything is back to as nature described it, and I forget why it gets brought up again. I think they're like, oh, what did we learn today kind of situation, and Jake's like, I don't know, and Adam's like, oh, that, nature isn't quite black and white, and Jake's like, no, male seahorses give birth.
So how do you think I feel about it? And that's how it ends. It's the seahorse going, how do you think I feel about it?
That's the end, and we get to see the same animation
Again.
Yeah, so I wanted to run this. What do you guys think about the second viewing of that? Where were you at?
I mean, it was nice to have some context, so I was like, oh, okay, cool context, but then I was like, it doesn't make it better.
No, it's still not funny.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the after credit scenes are very, very, very hit or miss for me. And this one was a boo.
Yeah. No.
So
try better.
You see what I mean though? By like, I think like the dynamics at the beginning and the character interactions were kind of fun, and then like at the beginning, and
it
then
becomes
just got
something
weird.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes.
You know what I
something
rate
else.
this episode?
What do you
What?
give it?
I rate this episode 3 beautiful seahorses from Aqua Oceans.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Alright, well, that was lots of fun. Let's talk about some of our fan art and comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
Okay. So, the first fan art I'm going to talk about is from @ChairmanNom, and he has drawn some an artwork of Gert holding up a gun and saying, "Not today, pigs." And then here it is.
Please.
That's so good.
I love this. Thank you.
Oh.
And then some Gert and Rene artwork here, and it's all of us. And pointing out that Rene has Weird Al hair. Well, Rene will not be here to
Defend
say how
herself.
they feel about say how they feel about that. But very good. Now, why don't you talk about this one since you're such a staple of the podcast?
Oh yes, of course. Oh, this is lovely.
I love this.
So, this is from @NUXILL Nuxel on Twitter, Joanna. It is a picture of Adam and Jake in a very cute style. I love the colors here. I love that Jake's shirt is kind of like torn and stained because he's like a messy monkey. This is great.
They look so
This
much
is
more
really good.
pure than they actually do in the show.
Right.
This is a great work of art. Thank you.
I love this. This very adorable. Very
So
much fun.
cute.
Very good.
And now
Thank
this
you
one
for
isn't a
that.
fan art. This is a speed run that was sent to us.
A speed run.
So someone, yes,
Like video
So-
games.
yeah, like video games. So
Okay.
at PSI Blue Scout, says, Hall of the Wild 2 speed run any percent, 4 minutes 35 seconds. My very first speed run world record, and it's a shitty Flash game. I dedicate it to the folks at my gym partners a podcast. So it's a speed run of...
I did not see this one before the podcast. I am like just reeling. Whoa.
I'm trying to wrap my... I guess, so that's great, like, awesome, but what is Hall of the Wild?
You don't know?
Oh my god, Niall.
How do you not know about Hall of the Wild? Hall of the Wild is like a Flash platformer on CartoonNetwork.com for my gym partner's a monkey, and as a child, I didn't think it ever ended. I thought it just went on forever, but apparently it does. The speedrun proves that it does.
Well, congratulations.
In less than 5 minutes. Yeah, congrats. I hope you
love it. If you honestly did get the world record, that's amazing.
I hope to see Call of the Wild at the next GDQ.
Oh, God, please. God, please. Now, Gert, why don't you read our first comment?
Yeah, sure. All right, this is a comment from Tiffany Boother. Thanks, Tiffany. As a snail mom, I can confirm that snails are essentially just slimy dogs. And Gerda's absolutely right. That is, from just all of my, like, little... I haven't been, like, lucky enough to have little snails of my own, like, permanent little friends. But every interaction I've had with a snail has been incredibly pleasant. It almost feels like they react like little puppy dogs. They're so cute, and I agree.
What a nice comment.
Yeah, that's a really nice comment.
It's cool to think of animals in like reference to animals that we're more familiar with.
It is.
Yeah. Hold on, I've accidentally cut this comment off a little bit. I gotta go get the full comment.
Okay. Yeah. Just...
Okay. Pecan Begone Prawn says, the what if all animals acted like dogs thing is a fun idea. Also, I don't know if anyone has ever talked about this, but most armadillos give birth to identical quadruplets. Do you think that Henry has 3 other identical siblings? No, he ate them in the womb. That's
yeah, I certainly hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I would just go insane if I had to deal with 3 more.
Can you imagine? Oof.
You signed that there permission slip.
You can do anything to me.
You can throw me in a jar and leave me there to rot. You can put me in formaldehyde and preserve me forever.
Doesn't he sing like a little song in one of these?
Oh, I'm a friendly armadillo.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Gentle pussy.
I was just imagining that maybe he could sing like a little like harmony quartet with all of his brothers.
Oh, how cute. Anyway, next week.
Oh, how cute.
Next week we're going to be talking about the episodes Gorilla My Dreams and The Prince and the Pooper. God
damn. Sorry, that name makes me Princess and the Pooper.
Yeah, good luck with that one. I gotta get out of here.
Alright, so just there's another trapdoor over there from the stand over.
Yeah, sure. Let me start myself.
Yeah, it'll send you back.
No.
Oh, I forgot to mention before we leave, Niall, stop yourself. Come back up.
What?
Come back up from the trapdoor. Please post the picture at the end of this episode of the horror that we saw, the like awful horror that we saw in a corrupted episode of My Gym Partner's a Monkey.
Right.
Jake's long arms, his long blurry fingers.
Of course, I'll definitely post that. I'll post it right here. Take a look at that. When we tried to watch this episode at first, we got cursed. Anyway.
Yep.
Now, hey Gert, pull the lever.
Funk!
Wait, no, I'm not ready.
And that's been My Gym Partners, a podcast. I'm Lucy.
I'm Gert.
That's Niall.
That's
See
Niall.
y'all next week.
I'm still alive down here. It's cold.
and you will stay there until the next time we need you.
Have some scraps, pet!
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.